your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and of course, leave it to bots to end up being a problem. If you're looking in the chat right now, you see a whole bunch of bots. If you're a mod, could you please just delete them along the way? And I'll show you what I'm doing each and every time. So when I see something like this, then I come over to community moderation, pop in right here, and we're going to pop in XAI. Oh, what's this stupid one? 59Z. So now we're going to put that in there, and you'll see how many XAIs that we've had to deal with over the last bunch of days. Now, it gets even better because you also have to put in a $ XAI 59Z and then enter that one. And then you can even put in another $, or I think you do it like 4 times, something like that, every single time, just to do that. So now they won't come back in. They're not allowed to make a comment anymore using that. So, but as we go, we're just kind of limiting some of the stuff that's happening right now. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's talk about this crazy market. So BSV is up 26% on the day. SWI is up 19, or as CC would say, SUI. Jupiter up 11%. Radium 8%. Floki 11.5%. Dog with Hat 17%. Starting to get some good movement. Now, I don't think that we're at the spot right now where I don't think we're banana zone. I think we are preparing for it. I think we're getting to a spot where we're going to be real comfortable very soon. You're starting to see a lot of movement and recovery, if you will, and a lot of projects are going to benefit from that, but no banana zone yet. When you walk around here, though, Zio 55%, Virtual 26%, SPX 22%, Pengu 46%. These are the type of days that we're looking to have. Arrow 19%, AI 16Z 38%. It's a legitimate project, so that's why nobody's talking about it in the spamming the chats, because they're not trying to steal from you. You know what I mean? Like, this kind of crazy. Ardor up 31% in it, 52% in it. Oh, Ali G. Nero up 36%, AIXBT up 30%, GOAT 31%, ChatGPT up 15%. You can see, you know, if you can farm the name off of something and make a profit off it. By the way, Devi up 12.5% today, having a nice little recovery run. If it breaks out above, and I'll show you this in a few minutes, if it breaks out above its resistance area, then we could be in for quite the run for Devi. I think going to $1.30. Now, that's not the end goal, of course. That's not where any of this ends, but it is and would be a very nice start. Andy is up 36.7%. I think I sold my Andy yesterday. Undead Games is at a 60 million market cap, up 30%. Is gaming making a comeback? Well, take more than, you know, some random Undead Games platform to decide whether or not we are or are not. Also, by the way, Ponky over here up 15% on the day. So a lot of good in the market. Not great, but good. And we're at Fear and Greed Index is at 60. So let's talk about why we should be bullish right now. The title Bitcoin to 100,000, yes. XRP to 420, it's complicated, but I think yes. Solana to 420, yeah. Ethereum to 4,200, not just 4,200. Justin Sun says that there is a path right now for Ethereum to get on a run and go to 5,000, which, ironically, we've been talking about that number for a while. Now, the number that we've been focused on more than anything right now is 3,000 and 4,000. But ultimately, I said 5,000 is the start of altcoin season. And that would be the banana zone altcoin season, not just a few, a few ridiculous things. You know what I mean? So let's see how this all plays out. Fear and greed index looking really good. Now, there's a lot that is going on underneath here. Trump administration is starting to come through. Now, before we can say that the Trump administration has absolutely sent crypto, we got one thing that we have to do. Like, we have to get to a spot here where we're not in Joe Biden land. Now, Joe Biden land was all the way over here when we were at 3.73 trillion in market cap. So until we get above this 3.73 trillion, Donald Trump hasn't done anything. Okay. However, laying the groundwork for what comes next is the important part at this moment. So now, here we are, and now here we get an opportunity for this, let's just call it a great sending, if you will. We've broken out. You can see the recovery play itself out right around this range. We got a nice little recovery starting. Will it continue? Based on global money flow, based on all of the important priorities? Yes, we will. Let's turn this off right now and let's go over here. One thing that I've been noticing a few people have been doing, and it's in my list here. It's on my chart. I'm just not sure. Yeah, so my global liquidity index is this right here, and it shows that we are still in this massive uptrend. But I saw a new one, which is M2. By the way, that's just the US. It's just this is a US right here. You can see it kind of down here, and you can see that the global money supply continues to just trickle up and up and up and up with no end in sight. And then when you offset it, and that's the important part, right? You have to do an offset here. And I don't know the details on this. I can't give it to you specifically yet because, I'm still going to have to mess with this a little bit. But what they say is if you put it on, if you lay it on the over thing up here, if you overlay it, then what you'll see is that when you offset it by 108 days, you'll see that it all kind of makes sense and that it all kind of plays out. So over the next day or two, we'll kind of, here we go. Time shift is right here. All right. So this is with the time shift. This is the one that I was talking about. And if we lay in a time offset of 108, then I'm told that this puts us right, like we should be able to lock in on this money flow. So we're going to leave that. I guess we'll leave that kind of right there right now. We'll zoom in here and you can see the top over here. You can see the bottom over here. You can see the general trend line of the upward movement right there. You can see, it's not 108 days. By the way, this does not look exactly 100% accurate, but if we just take for granted that, this is, let's just kind of nail it in there. And you see how close it is right now. You see how close that is. The number of days right here is, let's move this over here. That's about 25 days. So let's take for just a second here. And by the way, it's not going to be, so it's going to be 90 days. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, see that flows. That's a lot better. All right. So this is the global money flow right now. This is really what we've been talking about with the global liquidity index right now. And look at it. I mean, it's telling you right now that this is getting ready to happen. Like we are entering that banana zone. So here we go. I don't know that I don't 4 point. My target here was 4.4 trillion. I think that's going to be the next move to 4.4 trillion. But as you can see right now, it's just continuing to go. So if you just, grant that, from here to up here, if we were just kind of eyeballing it right now, that's 5 trillion market cap. That actually caps out at 5 trillion market. That's a raw number. None of this is perfect. As you can see from some of the flows, it's not always specific, but it is pretty accurate about the way that everything is moving right now. So let's see whether or not we get that or not. But the reason that we're bullish right now, CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange here in Chicago, is set to launch an XRP futures contract on May 19. The reason that this matters, this is so important. This is because the CME, they basically determine what the SEC will and will not approve. CME futures uses about the same litmus test that the SEC uses on these projects. So if that is the case, then it could be reasoned that something very, very big is coming. And the reason that is the CME launching an XRP futures. They're also launching a Solana futures. And I think that means that we will have a Solana ETF and an XRP ETF in June. So get ready for a build up to that moment. Get ready for a dump after that moment. Remember, about a 20% correction on that launch day. Get ready for that. And by the way, don't think that institution doesn't realize that we now know this, and don't think that they're not going to front run it and run in a different direction. So there is a possibility that instead of seeing a 20% correction like we saw on Bitcoin and we saw on Ethereum, that we could just see a continued pump on something like Solana or XRP, just because of the paradigm shifting to where, I mean, if everybody does the same thing, then guess what? They can't make any money that way. Deception is how they make their money off of you. You think everything's going to go up and they dump on you, right? And remember, I even explained to you exactly how that works. So if you don't remember that, we'll talk about it over the next couple of days, and very simple, but let's see what happens. Anyway, let's talk about chart action. We're up $32 billion on the day. Market continuing to move in the right direction. We've got positive price action almost everywhere. There are a few things that we're taking a little bit of correction on right now. XRP down slightly on the day despite this pump. Butthole down just a little bit despite this pump. That's really, I think, that's a rotation of money going away from Fartcoin and Butthole and going into, of all things, Bonk. And people were looking at it like specifically, like, why is Bonk pumping? And the money was just, it's capital rotation coming right now, most likely from a lot of institutions who are trying to, again, trap you into some meme coins so that they can use you as exit liquidity. And by the way, we're not seeing an incredible run. This is important. We're not seeing an incredible run of brand new meme coins just exploding out of nowhere. So that's a good sign that maybe some of this market is going to settle down, and we're going to put less focus on meme coins and more on altcoins. And that's going to be how the bull run will really, really start. So here we are. Bitcoin dominance still mooning, still at 64. Remember I told you that I think it's going to get pretty, it's going to get pretty rugged. So eventually it will capitulate. When it capitulates, then that's when we're going to see an altcoin season. So we're going to be watching this chart for a while. Now, Bitcoin, we did not get a move back down into 91,200. I still have the position set up, but it's not looking like we're going to get that opportunity to revisit. Now, when I say that, if I make a change to this, then I am sure it's going to go to 91,200. So we're going to stick with it for right now, and we're going to hold on and see if we don't get some kind of little pushback and capitulation back down into that range so that we can get that long filled. Now, one of the important things to recognize, and I think this is almost imperative, okay? Sometimes the best trade is to not make a trade. If you have a conviction that something is going into a certain direction, you could be wrong or you could be right. But right now, and I'll tell you, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I felt this impulse today. as I was getting ready for the show, and one of the things, just so you guys understand, I actually drive about 40 miles in the morning before the show. Kind of looking at it, and I thought, I need to enter a position here just so I can show you guys what it is that I'm doing so that you guys can see the trades every day. And then I realized, you know what? That's the dumbest thing I've ever said to myself. And that's a feeling of FOMO that hit me. And then I realized, you know what? Actually, I should be telling you guys the best thing. And sometimes the best thing is just don't take the trade. Don't chase the pump. Don't FOMO. Don't put yourself in a position where you didn't decide where it was. And then, of course, you end up getting wrecked. So if I had entered a position today just to say, hey, you know what? Let's just go long right here and see what happens. Then what inevitably would happen is the market would start to bleed a little bit. It would start to come down. I would feel pressure. And then I would look to establish a better position by DCAing my way down. And basically what they're going to do is I'm throwing more capital at my position as it comes down, 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 till I just give up and get liquidated, right? And that's what they're doing, is they're attacking your capital. So when you see a move, a surge happening like this, don't chase it. Don't chase it. If you missed it, it's okay. Have a little patience on it and let it come to you. And by the way, that does mean that every single day when you're doing this, you might need to just kind of back out and say, well, you know what? Where is my next position for a setup? And will it be a good setup? Now, if you're scalping or if you're just swing trading, that you're going to look at it from a 30-minute, you're looking from a 30-minute, I guess that's your best trading advantage, is to do it right here on a 30-minute. And if you do that, then, you might have looked at this and said, well, 91,002 doesn't really make any sense here because we are breaking out here. What would make sense would be a back test somewhere around here, around 92.4, 92.5, something like that. I was not a fan of that move, right? I didn't think that was going to, I wasn't a fan, all right? Let's just put it that way. But I don't think that we got down there, and now it's breaking out. So I'm going to miss this move. That's all. I'm just going to miss this move. Here's the thing, though. If it continues to surge and it gets near 100,000 and we get up into this range right here, sell order at 100,000 still works. And what that means is, instead of this move up into this range right here, and then we're going to sell, we're just going to short, and we're going to short it back down into a range. There's going to be profit available for you. The profit is available in both directions. So have the patience to know that, if you chase that pump, you're doing exactly what they want you to do, and you're going to get wrecked because of it. Now, today is Friday expiry. It is the final Friday of the month, so it should be incredibly volatile today. If, however, the bulls end up winning this, then we could be looking at a nice little breakout. And remember, we are getting within 2 weeks now, within 2 weeks of a potential rate cut. Now, will there actually be a rate cut is the next question. Is the Fed, based on the data, by the way, based on the data that we get, is the Fed going to be able to do what it is that we want to see done? So we have a few important dates here. Let's go back to a daily calendar, and let's kind of take the Bitcoin cheeks and spread them apart, if you will. So we're going to get the JOLTS job openings on April 29. We're going to get the personal spending on April 30th, and then we're going to get the personal income month over month on April 30, and then we're going to get the ISM manufacturing numbers on May the 1st. And then we're going to have a Fed meeting on the 6th and 7th. So Fed meeting is wait, we don't give a shit about the closed door meeting. We want to see this. All right, May 6th and 7th. So May 6th and 7th, we're going to find out about the next rate cut. Then we're going to have June 17 and 18, July 29 and 30. There's going to be there's 6 more. So there is the potential for significant rate cuts. Will there be any? I don't know. It's still kind of early. When we look at the inflation number, we have reason to, we can use trueflation as a matter of fact, just so you guys understand what trueflation looks like. It's using a lot of different data, and trueflation shows that the United States is only up 1.46%. So 1.4 or 1.42%, my bad. That's under the 2% goal that Jerome Powell had. Now, this is using a new formula, just so you guys understand. This formula has only been around for about 3 years. So it's trying to give you what it says is real inflation numbers. And if that's correct, then, it's not adopted by the United States yet. It's not adopted. It's just kind of sitting out there. And, here's the thing. Is this number safe? That's the question. Is it safe to use as a modicum of decision making by the Fed? And I don't know that it is the case. Here's what I know. If you're in a cult, then you're going to look at this number and you're going to say, oh, this is exactly what should have been happening right here. And everything is perfect now because the guy that I like is in charge, right? And I don't know that that is the case. So until we get a little more data on trueflation, I don't think the Fed is going to be using it. I don't think they're going to really give a shit because they didn't do it back in September when it was only 1.7. They didn't do it back in October when it was still 2%. That's the reason for rate cuts, right? Remember? So the fact that it's where it is right now doesn't really resonate. And by the way, at some point, you and your brain are going to have to recognize that despite the fact that you don't like him for DEI and you don't like him for wokeism and stuff like that, Joe Biden actually did a fairly decent job on the economy, which means that your comparison of 2024 to 2025 is why that trueflation number came down. It's because of the spikes from 21 to 23 that caused all of the excessiveness of it, because your institutions were taking advantage of you because of COVID, and they were raising their prices, and they were trying to claw back that global money supply as the United States just continued to print money. So now you're seeing it come down, but it's a comparison to a high. So that's why you might see some questions about it. How do you get all the best drugs? Practice. Anyway, and ew. By the way, I don't do drugs. So, there we have it. There we have it. So, Bitcoin, I'm going to hold on to 91,200. I'm going to look at the 30-minute and I'm going to say, well, we got an impulse move right here. We got a correction, then we got a breakout. We got an impulse move here. We got a correction. We're getting a breakout again. Ride it up. You know what I mean? Just ride it up. If we get fortunate enough to get this buy order filled right here, then I'm going to feel good about it. Now, if we get a move right here, if we look at maybe our volume profile, it'll give us an indication of a position right here, which is 93,600. So if you want to set a buy, 93,600 might not be the worst spot. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to be a little more shrewd. I'm going to stick with 91,200 right now. I'm going to leave that open. So just for clarity's sake here, there's my XRP long was triggered. So we're live on that one. Same thing with Move. That one's doing it too. I don't know why it's not loading. I don't know why it's not loading yet. So anyway, there we go. All right, so we're up 2% on the XRP long, and it's still down on Move, but Move is not part of this. So we have $13 left that is not set up in an open order right now. We're still holding Ethereum for 1690. Since Ethereum is weak, then I think that there's a possibility that we get that drop down. So we're going to hold that one as well. We're going to hold Ondo at 85 cents, even though Ondo had a nice little run. And by the way, full disclosure, I took my Ondo money. I took the Ondo money out. You see here, I don't have that bag of Ondo anymore. And it was because I bought it at basically 75 cents and it was trading at $1.05. And, that's about 40% profit. Why wouldn't I take the profit on that and just move on from there? So what I did was I took that out and then I put it all into WXT. WXT is the token that runs Week's platform. If you are if you're trading over here, then you already know that WXT token is what it is. And I'm just continuing to accumulate a little bit at a time, just a taste every single time. Now, what I do, by the way, just to give you guys some clarity on this and the reason that matters. So originally I had about 2,000 WXT worth like $30, something like that. Just a small, just a taste, just a small amount. And every couple days, WeLaunch has a new launch where they give away $10,000 in some new token. Well, I did that, and here's my reward history, which is ridiculous. Okay, like God damn it, like I'm not doing anything here. So Boogie, which is the one that I committed, and I committed 7,000 in the last one, but I only earned 9 cents worth of Boogie token. That's retarded. I'm not going to keep doing that. That's not worth doing. So then I realized I need to accumulate a little bit more because I want to get a bigger taste of all of these. I had 2,000 of Simon's Cat, which again, minor amount. You look over here and you see how much I've committed to it. And these are tiny, 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 tiny amounts. So no benefit to me at all to do that. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit, 10 times as much. And by the way, if you look at this right here, microfinance right here, I'm up 5x on that. So it's only gonna be about 15 cents. So I'm just going to keep building the bag. And every time I do that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at these ongoings and I'm going to do a full commit to that project. And I'm going to get a piece of each one of those. In the meantime, I could kick it up a notch because first of all, thank you guys, because as it is right now, $1,419 is what we've made over 2 days in fees from trading over on this platform. So thank you guys so much. That was $505 yesterday. Here's what it looks like ultimately. And by the way, we're at 2.3 million in trade volume today. That $900 that we made 2 days ago, that was actually from 1.8 million. So futures trading fee so far, 820, and we get 70% of that. So $574. So I think we're going to make $574 for today. Not exactly sure how all of this works out. Learning it as I go on this platform. And if I don't like it, we'll move to a different platform. But if you look over here, you can see the volume. We had that big spike in volume, 1.89 million. Then we had 1.2 million. And then we had 2.3 million today. Big number. So hopefully, as we get the updates and stuff like that, it's going to keep going. Now, as you can see, also, we've had 19 new referrals on the day, 9 more depositors, and 11 people with trade volume for the day. So been a good day. This is not populated yet. I was told not to worry about it because they can see it and they know, and it'll update in a few hours. So we'll know what the commission is for the day, but it's just not updated yet. I don't know what that means. So, but I am watching it just for clarity's sake here. I am watching it just to see what happens. So, and to be fair, like it could be in just a couple of hours because they're on +8 US. They're on +8 UTC, I think it is. So, we might see it in a little while. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you in more ways than you can even know. Because again, this allows me, and by the way, I told you guys I'm not, we're kind of moving away from meme coins, unless we're shorting some meme coins on some of these exchanges. However, we're probably going to partner with Pump It one more time and run that one back because I really like that project and I really think that thing is going to go just parabolic at some point. So super excited about what the future might hold for that project. So you should see something about that coming up soon. So Trueflation, back to it, 1.2. And now we're going to look at 10-year bond yields. Where are the 10-year bond yields? That is, I think this is the most important part. And it's at 4.27. That sucks. Okay. We are not, the one thing that Trump has still not figured out is the bond yields. Okay. Now, a hot market fixes the bond yields. If we start pumping as a market, then you'll see these bond yields come down. But likely going to have to refinance its debt by the end of this year. And if it has to do that, then the end result of that is going to be it's going to have to get these rates down, because every 0.25% on the refinance is 0.25% more that the United States has to pay on trillions of dollars. So if you just consider 35,000 million, billion, trillion. And let's just say that we can get 0.5% drawn down times 0.5. 17 million. That's huge. That's how much money the United States is having to pay just in additional interest because of the Fed based on this. So 13, boom, 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 boom. Just to give you an idea here, 175. There we go. 3, 6, 9, 11. There we go. All right. So is that right? 0.5%. Yeah. 1.75 trillion. My bad. Fuck my life. Jesus Christ. No. 175 billion. I'm sorry. 175 billion. I put one too many zeros here. 1.7. That is a lot. So if we have to refinance that debt, it's got to be as low as possible. So we need to get that down tremendously. And remember, the Fed is the one that's keeping that price up, and that's not going to fly. So anyway, back to it. Bitcoin, it's starting to retrace just a little bit, not a whole lot. We'll see whether or not we maintain and whether we continue that breakout. But you can see right there, there was a little bit of a surge up into 95,300. And if we look at our liquidity map here, 95,300 surged up into the top of this little range right here. Yeah. So let's pop right there. It surged right up into, let's hit the refresh and you can actually see it. But it surged up into that range right there, got into the little clearing spot. Now it's coming back down. Again, we could see, some downward momentum, 92.7 range, something like that. Seems to be a lot of liquidity in the short term, moving up to the higher time frames. You can see it really went after and attacked that big zone right there. Liquidity increasing down below. So we'll see whether or not that continues. But it looks like we're at the start of money flow coming into the market, a huge continuation of what's happening right now. And, this should be a big move. So Bitcoin, we're super bullish about that one. And right here, Kathy Woods has said, in her opinion, she believes that $1 million Bitcoin is coming. And this is ARK Invest, has its sights on a bullish outlook for Bitcoin. And she believes that by 2030, that it's going to go to $1 million. She's updated her price target, worst case scenario, by the end of the decade, 300,000. ARK Invest predicts a base case of 710,000 per Bitcoin in 2030 and a bullish projection of 1.5 million. And let's be very, very clear. Here's how you do the math, right? 21 million Bitcoin will be mined maximum lifetime. It's going to take a long time to mine all of the Bitcoin, but 21 million is the number. Now, how many Bitcoin are permanently lost? In 2020, Chainalysis estimated that around 3.7 million Bitcoin are lost and unrecoverable. If that number were half, that's 1.8 million. So basically what we can say almost reasonably is that by the end of this, there's going to be 19 or 20 million Bitcoin. Okay. That's going to be 19 to 20 million Bitcoin total. And now here's the next question. CL Jacobs off topic says, how do you feel about the Bears drafting Loveland last night? I'm not a big fan of that move. However, I understood the need because last season, I think they whiffed on something that they should have done, which is take Brock Bowers, not Roma Dunze. I love Roma Dunze, by the way, and I would love to have been able to get him. But Brock Bowers, to me, seemed like the better overall option for a team up north that needs to have playmakers at the tight end skill positions as opposed to just being a blocker like Gerald Everett really was last year. And I don't know why they didn't use Cole Kmet, so this is basically, this guy is a step down from Brock Bowers, but just barely. So I'm excited. I would have preferred trench warfare. I would have preferred to bring in some more bodies for the offensive and defensive line. But, when it comes down to this guy, I really like what I see. So I'm not, again, my move would have been something different, but Mason Graham was off the table. Ashton Gianti was off the table. And I was not a fan of Ashton Gianti to begin with. Not that I don't like what he does. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. But again, trench warfare is how you win games. And we already have some really good players at those positions. The argument that I would make, I guess, for this right now is that, Gerald Everett is gone. Cole Kmet is still here. We needed that other guy. So you need that other tight end in the Ben Johnson system. So this actually secures exactly what you wanted to see from the team. Again, even though I'm not really a fan of that decision. So, you know what I mean? And Selmo, Clay Matthews can go himself. Okay. I saw what happened yesterday. And anyway, back to this. We have 20 million Bitcoin. Let's just say 19 million Bitcoin. Now we're going to ask a real question here. How many millionaires in the world? There are approximately 58 million millionaires globally, representing about 1.5% of the global adult population. There are not enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to have one Bitcoin. Think about that. And then think about if we do a great job as a community, as a society, of realizing the importance of Bitcoin and the freedom that Bitcoin provides. Once we establish that and we really get into the run, I don't think we're at the run yet. Once we really get into that spot, it makes perfect sense to say that $1 million Bitcoin is probably going to be on tap. So just think about that. Think about the numbers that are involved in this. And look, if you don't have $500,000, you're probably not going to become a millionaire on Bitcoin right now. Because I think 2x from where we are right now would actually fit in with, where I think it's going to go to 250 to 300,000 in this cycle. I do think that that's going to happen. But the golden ratio is 1.618, 161.8%, and 161.8% is 175,000. So 175,000 is the number for Bitcoin. And that would be that's a huge number. But again, buying today, you need $500,000 in order to become a millionaire with Bitcoin in this cycle, if I'm right about that. So, that's it's a long way off. But you're going to get another opportunity. So let's make a bunch of money so that we can all buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And then over the next 10 years, let's just reap it, baby. So that's a big number. Anyway, back to it. So let's see what happens with Bitcoin. Kathy Woods, she's a big fan, and we'll see. Next up, Ethereum. This is a 30-minute chart. Ethereum ran up above 1,800 yesterday. Ethereum ran up to 1,835, started to recover back down. Let's, again, God damn it. Every time I do this with the VRVP, it's popping back up. Come back over here. Look at where we played out. This is very, very bullish, the way that it looks right now. The structure of this chart, the way that it's set up. Narrative doesn't appear to have changed on Ethereum, but we had this big move. We had this correction, only came to the 382, and it started the move up here. I just still feel like 0.5 is where it's at. Like, I can't see that Ethereum is not going to dump down into this range one more time for an accumulation before continuing on. Ethereum has not shown strength, it's shown weakness. So I'm going to stick with 1690 as my entry position on this long. And then from there, I'm just going to assume that it's going to have a breakout. Now, along with that, here's the reason. Justin Sun has issued a $5,000 target for Ethereum and a timeline in a post on X. Here, we're going to pop this up. Ethereum shares the same birthday as me. This date is truly meaningful. I suggest a 10x increase. Let's commemorate it together at $5,000. This year, Ethereum will celebrate 10 years since Genesis, 10 years of Ethereum meetups at local gatherings happening on July 30th to celebrate the anniversary. So, Justin Sun's birthday, July 30th. So my birthday, by the way, July 20th. So make sure you guys buy a lot of shit because I'm going to need a lot of I'm going to need a lot of crypto as comfort as my birthday approaches. So my birthday's on July 20th. Matter of fact, let me just put it this way. The United States loves me so much that they sent people to the moon, you know, to commemorate my birthday, which I hadn't even been born yet. So is it crazy? Is it crazy to think that the United States said, hey guys, let's set up a studio to make it look like we went to the moon on the same day when we know Bleaves is going to be born? Did I do that enough for you, Faltron? Did I do that? Did I do that right? All right. So Justin Sun says 5,000 by July 30th. Let's make it happen. That's a 3x from where we are right now. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that is a 3x from where we are right now. And I'm not going to be happy with Ethereum at 5,000 because I think it's so much more than 5,000 as a goal. But listen, it is my opinion, and I've said this to you before, $5,000 Ethereum will kick off an absolute banana zone because there will be so much money in Ethereum. People will be so excited for Ethereum that the end result of that is that they will then start to cascade that money into all of these other projects. And by the way, if you were to just look at it and say, well, a 3x in capital right now would be from 215 billion to about 650 billion, going up into that range. So what's not to love about that? If you just consider 50 billion of that capital just starts trickling down into the market, just that much, right? Starts trickling down into this market, $50 billion seeding all of the rest of these cryptos down here. Like, how do you know how explosive that's going to be? Imagine some of that money, by the way, going in something like Devi, and you guys are early to Devi, by the way. So I'm going to leave Ethereum at 1690, 1835. If it goes up above 1835, I'm going to change. And here's where I would change. If we go up above this right now and we go into that 1900 sort of range, I'll be looking for a move back down to 1835. So then I'll set a long position right here at 1835 for another breakout. That would be the next move in my estimation for that right there. So Justin Sun thinks 5,000. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So Solana seems to be playing pretty nice right now. I'm going to move to a daily for this one and not the 30 minutes, but you can see that, you know, we've not calmed down here. Solana is breaking out. Like, you know, just consider what I thought was going to be your entry opportunities, 142, not even close. Like, we're not even breaking back down into that range. If you look at the open order over here, we were so nervous about Solana, we didn't even take a position on Solana. But if we were going to, then set yourself up for a move right here at 146. And that one got triggered, by the way, but that low 142 did not. And then I would fully take profit right here at 162. So keep that on your radar. If you're making a play, I mean, I would set a sell at 162. Take your initial out, if nothing else. If you're up 100%, then that means that you just cut it in half. You've removed your risk, and now you're on house money on your futures position. So why not? So, and also, this is gigantic. This is gigantic, and it will mean something very, very soon. Solana futures are available on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, SOLKS, Solana futures. So this is the start of the SEC approving a Solana ETF. They've gone through CME. They've gone through the process with Solana. They've agreed that Solana should be a futures traded product. And that's enough right there. That's enough for this SEC to say yes. Paul Atkin going to come in with the big yes very, very soon for Solana. So if you look, again, I have a spot bag of Solana, but that's it. I'm not the futures on this one. To me, just right now, the moment doesn't feel right to enter a long position there. XRP just looks like, let's get rid of that right there. XRP is not running strong, and I would like to see it run a little bit stronger than it is right now. I mean, but look at this. Like, you know, it's recovered. It's started that process, but it's not looking strong. That gigantic wick that we had yesterday, taking it down to 212, like that was not a great one. This recovery right here has been muted. What we would like to see is a big move up into this range right here of 240. That 240 inspires confidence. And as a matter of fact, if we zoom out, that was the volume node. So I would suspect that we're going to see XRP make a pretty big move into that range. And not only that, CME is also launching XRP futures. So I think that XRP at this moment is kind of priced in pretty good. The question at this point becomes, what can it be later on? Well, 128 billion market cap for it. I mean, does it pass Ethereum? Well, it needs you cannot at this point consider that XRP is going to pass Ethereum, no matter how you look at it or what you think. There are still numbers that have to bear out. And when Ethereum is trading billions per day and XRP is not, then Ethereum is the product. Solana at 3 billion. Solana's at 3 billion. Just consider this. Solana at 3 billion is 1/3 of Ethereum. So we got a long way to go for Solana before XRP. Okay. So just my opinion. I do think that Solana passes BNB very shortly. I think we're going to see a surge from Solana. We had a nice little move. And then same thing with Ethereum and XRP. But, you know, again, it's Ethereum's race to lose at this point. But CME for XRP. So ultimately, you guys see it in the title. Ultimately, I think that the next move is going to be up here into that 420 range, just because it's a, you know, bunch of pot smoking stoners in XRP. You know what I mean? Not serious people. I mean, come on. You stoners. Anyway, 420 is going to be the next big impulse move. And by the way, if you look at it from this context here, like it's overdue. Like it's fucking overdue. So we're probably going to see a big move by Solana coming up soon. Now, the fact that I see that, the fact that I'm saying that does mean that there is some risk associated, because anybody else seeing this could be like working against us, if you will, and you might see it like dump. So I don't know. As far as OM goes, let's move over to OM. I'm looking for some kind of news and stuff like that. I'm not really seeing anything that makes me super excited and super bullish. Okay. I just believe in this principle of a recovery. This is not Luna Class. It's not a broken chain. There's not a, it's not something that needs to be fixed. There's nothing, like the whole thing about this is a gigantic whale got liquidated. And while that was happening, others were selling off. Like it, to me, feels coordinated, but Ash Hall has a good take here. He says, first green MACD bar. And so we're looking at it from the daily, and we still see that we're down here low, right? We get in a little bit closer and we start seeing there's a little press, but we're not seeing a pump coming right now. And the reason we're not seeing the pump coming is because if you remember, we played this out yesterday and I explained to you guys this little volume node right here. This is your resistance right now. This is the spot where every time you buy into this, every time you buy into it, they're selling off on this spot right here. So with that being the case, you have to break through and you got to get up here to $1.25 to negate the sellers that are continuing to dump at this range. So if that's successful, then you'll have same thing. You'll have some dumping right here. But as you can see from this, not that much. There's not that much volume in that range. And then you've just got this big move up here into that $4 range for OM. So I do think that OM is steadily preparing for what could be just a massive recovery. But again, on the 1 day, doesn't look that great. We start to look around and we start to get more and more bullish on it from an RSI standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, from a technical standpoint. There's no there. So it's only a matter of time before enough new buyers step in that OM continues to run. So early signs of life, but volume and structure are still weak. Now, why is the volume still weak? Well, I mean, it collapsed. So, anything that does that, it's going to scare people. Volume is 168 million. When you look at it from a longer term there, there was a lot more volume a while back, close to 1 billion in volume, by the way. So if that's the case, then, the next step here would be that recovery. So we'll be watching for that recovery. I am holding a spot bag, waiting to see something happen. And if we do, you'll know about it pretty quickly. Devi started to break out and then got rejected at the spot where I told you guys. I just made a post about it, by the way, that said, let's remove that. From here, if we break out above, then we're going to move up into this range at $1.30, $1.35, but that has not happened yet. What instead happened is these, I'm going to be here until the end. Those people, turns out they were not going to be here at the end, because as you've seen right here, since we hit that rejection spot right there, and we're going to call it a rejection spot until we break out above it, but we went up for a test, rejected harshly, came back down. Went up for another test, rejected harshly, came back down. We're at another inflection spot right now where, if we don't break out, guess what? We're breaking down, and we're breaking down. Here's the thing. Just consider this. If we can't break above the prohibitive resistance, then eventually the buyers are going to become sellers because they're going to get frustrated and they're going to see other projects where they can make money on. And then boom, we're at 50 cents before you know it, trying to bust back up into the 65-cent range or something like that. So that's a very real possibility. Now, if an announcement is made, then fundamentally that changes everything. But I don't know when that's going to happen. So be happy that your bag is up today. Expect a bit more rejection from this range right here. If I were to, let's look at that short time frame and let's throw up a volume here, I would expect a move down here into 69 cents right there, 69.21. So, not a lot of downside, but that's 5%. So look for about 5%. And maybe we'll get a significant bounce off of that range. But we're not trading that way. We're holding that spot, and we'll see what happens there. Same thing with Fias. Fias is up 8%. Fias doing a little bit better than Devi on the day. But, again, until Devi breaks out, Fias is only going to go so high. If Fias goes up 3x from here, 4x from here, and it goes from, 3 cents right now, basically. If it goes from 3 cents up to its previous high of 12 cents, that's a 4x. That's the best it's going to do right now in the current environment. So, and by the way, look at this. Once we get to that resistance spot right there, then we'll know, what the next step is, but we're not really there yet. So, we get up here to about, 3.2 cents. breakout above, then we can start talking about it. I mean, you're going to have some resistance along the way. 4.2 cents, between 4 and 4.2 is going to be another spot. But again, just the trade volume, stuff like that. So Fias, just keep watching for it, see what happens. SWE continues, just absolutely continues to bang out. Now, I didn't take a bag of this. I ended up going for Ondo instead, and Ondo did not break out the same way. So we sold the Ondo at a good profit, but we're going to miss on SWE. At $2 seemed like a pretty good deal. And I was literally sitting here thinking, like, let's just go ahead and get it. Then it started to surge right here. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just go with Ondo instead. Then it came back down. And then, next thing you know, we're on Ondo instead of SWE. And SWE is the one that breaks out. And by the way, it's just a narrative thing. Narratives continue. And when the market is positive, then the narrative continues to the positive. Crow, not as bullish. Oh, by the way, SWE, for your setup right now, there's a lot. Like this is a lot. So here's what I'm going to say to this. I don't know that it goes higher than this short term. So if you're looking for a strategy, $2.97, settle long, maybe 277. If you feel like, there could be a breakdown into this range, there will be a breakdown into that range, but low leverage, $2.97. And then, it should take off from there. So, and by the way, $3.8 million or $3.8 billion in volume on SWE yesterday is what I was told. Now, I don't see that. Yeah, I see 599 million. But total value locked is up to 1.7 billion. That's a top 5. That's a top 5. That's not nothing. And when you start to come around looking at, some of the price action and stuff like that on some of these things, based on the overall value, it's got more volume than Tron. So a move to $7 for SWE, yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's got way more volume than Cardano. So a 2x from there, of course, duh. Does it have as much as Solana? No. Does it have as much as BNB? Sometimes. So 85 million, that's a 5x, 6x, 7x from here. So really SWE could be super sweet. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so SWE, 297, maybe set another one at 277. I would be doing this with a stop loss just in case, but ultimately, I think that SWE is going to have a big parabolic run. You should have a spot bag if nothing else. And again, if you want to do it on spot, again, set a buy order at $3. If you don't know how to do that by now, then go look at yesterday's video we talked about on Uniswap, just in case. So there you have it. Crow, again, Crow not breaking out like I would have hoped or would have thought. I don't have much in Crow, so I'm not really worried about it. What I told you guys before, and this, by the way, God damn it, this is where I screwed up. I remember now. I have all my Crow staked so I have a bunch of liquid Crow, and I was going to buy a bunch of SWE the other day with my liquid Crow because I thought, you know what, why not? And what ended up happening was I didn't have enough Crow. I needed 3 Crow to pay for the transaction fee, and I had staked it all. So I had no Crow. I got to send more Crow to myself. And then I was like, all right, well, I'll just get to it later. And then SWE broke out. So that's why I didn't end up getting the bag. Luna Classic, still kind of moving along. I think it's going to continue to rise. Same thing with USTC and Luna for that matter. Butthole, hopefully, hopefully it catches up to, some of these other projects out here in these ecosystems. Hopefully it does. I don't know if it will or not. API 3 is up to 80 cents right now. Not breaking out like I was hoping for on this one. I'm not bearish on it, by the way. I am super excited. I do think that, API, again, is going to be one of those hidden gems that's just going to absolutely roar and rage. But until it gets up here to $1.20 and breaks out above, we're not bullish yet. So patiently waiting. I have 10,000 API 3. So We definitely like API 3. We definitely want to stay bullish on API 3, but you know, right now we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs. Dow Jones is down on the day. Move is running sideways on the day. Trump is up 11%. Speedy is up 17%. Look at Speedy having a nice little breakout, by the way. And what I was looking for on Speedy is actually taking place right now. What you got was you got that big move, then you got the correction, you got a steep correction, and now you're about to double top, and we're going to see whether or not there's going to be a breakout on Speedy. Now, why am I bullish on Speedy? Well, you know, it's complicated. But if we look at Speedy, now the reason is because I think that the other turtle, Turbo, went over $1 billion market cap, to me means that this Speedy could do half that, 500,000 or 500 million market cap. It's at 2 million market cap right now. So, you know, that to me, from 2 million to 200 million is 100x, right? So to 500 million would be, was that 25x, 250x. So I think Speedy has a great opportunity. It's just a matter of, you know, finding its way, attracting new investors, getting a narrative that works for it, and getting their people activated. And I think the biggest problem with a lot of this market right now is that these meme coins, they don't activate their market properly. They've got a fan base, they've got users, and those users are not engaged enough in what's going on. Everybody wants success. Nobody wants to work for that success. As you guys might have been aware and remembered, I was on team SWP for a while, and you know, had a falling out, not a horrible falling out by any means, but a falling out at any rate. And what's happening now? Well, you know, this is, I mean, look, it's very simple. I'm not bragging. Okay. It's very simple. This is where I got you guys in. This is where I took you to. This is where they said it's not working out between us and we got to go. And this is what happened since. I'm not making that up. I'm just pointing it out. So, the reason that it was working for me was because every video, every conversation, everything that I did was tailored around activating the community and getting the community more and more and more engaged. The only person that I see continuing right now to talk about SWP is a person named Shri. Now, the reason that I say that is because I haven't had communication. I think Tom was probably on the main account the other day and sent me the video when they launched their newest video. And, you know, but I mean, there's nothing I could do. Listen, the way that I see this is actually very simple. I don't like the way that it went. April's brand new at her job. She'll get way better at this over time. But while we were doing this, you know, like when she didn't send me the transaction hash, you know, that's kind of a neophyte sort of move right there. That's a new person move, and I'm sure she's doing it now, or you know, I don't know what Deb and Adam's flow looks like, so I don't know what money they have coming in and out of their wallet. If they're paying attention to it, I don't know how it's all working out. I have no idea. But I mean, you know, ultimately, if you don't activate your community, that community will find other projects and they will go other ways. And I don't know that it's active. And by the way, that might just be me not producing any SWP content. So they're not, you know, they're ignoring me from this point. But if you go into the Telegram, same thing. It's just, you know, there's not a lot of activity in there. I would like to see a lot more. And I would probably be more bullish about it and say better things about it if I was you know, like if I was in there doing it, I would probably ignore some signs and just be like, you know, it's an active community, blah, 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 blah. So, you know what I mean? 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 Anyway, and by the way, you know, if not for nothing, but if I were to go in here and I were to look up Tom is still following me. I'm still following Tom. If you go to the SWP account, it's no longer following me. So I stopped following it. And then the other person was, I think it was April Christine. Is that it? April Christine. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right or anything like that. Like, I have no idea. I don't know. Not even worth it. Not even worth it. Anyway, I think Shayna, I'm still following Shayna. April, not at all. So I'm the problem. I'm the problem. All right. So anyway, Speedy hopefully is going to absolutely take off. I don't know if it will or not, but I think so. And I got a small bag of it just in case. So there you have it. All right. Now, we haven't triggered anything. And on our futures list over here, we've got a boom. We're up 8% right now on that XRP. Again, I think we've got it set for a full take profit at $2.40. That's our number. Move, we'll see how Move does. Again, I think that it was positive in funding flows. It's now positive in funding flows. So I'm gonna need to get out of this bitch as soon as I can, because now it's not working. You know what I mean? So there you have it. CC Coin. If you guys are not, CC is now an ecosystem. By the way, make sure you hit the like button, because if you don't, you might turn frogs gay. You don't want to do that. Come on, Alex Jones, tell him. He's not here? Oh, shit. Never mind. Anyway, Alex Jones not here today. So anyway, if you buy some CC Coin, Blockchain Beauties going to be launching very, very soon. As you might know, I'm the most beautiful of the Blockchain Beauties. So they're lucky to have me. But also, you've got Lex here, who is now part of, as an ambassador to Blockchain Beauties. You've got Nix. You've got, I think, Deviled Megs. You've got Jade. You've got a whole bunch of other people that are out here. Now, I'm not sure everybody is an ambassador or anything like that. I know that, some of these people will become ambassadors. So this is going to be important. This handsome critter right here, like, Jesus Christ, dude, slow down. You're hogging all the pee. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, check out Blockchain Beauties. You're going to be able to trade it with CC Coin. So you're going to need to have some CC Coin in order to get started. Eventually, probably be able to trade with Solana and stuff like that. And by the way, you could, I think you can buy it on, I want to say like maybe Jupiter, something like that. Probably be able to buy it on Jupiter and stuff like that when it but originally it's just going to be CCC on Radium. So that's going to be a good start, and it's going to be, create a price crunch for CC Coin. So, should be excited about it. Also, by the way, the Lazarus Group has made U.S. shell companies. Donald Trump, I don't know why Donald Trump loves the North Koreans so much that he allows them to create shell corporations and steal from Americans. We should impeach him. I'm just kidding. They probably did this in the last couple of years under Joe Biden. I'm just messing with you guys. Please don't have a stroke. Don't have a stroke. Stop. Breathe. I said bad things about the glorious leader. Breathe deep in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. While you're breathing in through the nose, hit the like button. While you're breathing out by the mouth, hit the other like button, or log into your other account and hit the like button too, asshole. You know what I mean? Anyway, just breathe. It's going to be okay. I'm just messing around. It's not that serious. Anyway, is it crazy that you have to say that about a president that nobody likes when they're in office, and he has a cult? Is that crazy? That's crazy. Anyway, so I guess that's it. Guys, make a bunch of money. This is going to be the greatest bull run in the history of bull runs. It's going to be the greatest, right? We are at the beginning of it. We're at the dawn of that M2 money supply going absolutely bonkers. We're going to hit that banana zone very, very soon. Make your money. Get your trades set up right now. If you haven't already, remember, I'm giving away money. I'm giving you money. All you have to do is, dude, sign the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, sign up and by the way, remember what I just showed you over the last 5 days, how much we are trading in volume? Well, There it is right there. My partner Weeks is offering you a big bonus for signing up at my link below. Earn 20% rewards for signing up. And there it is right there. If you sign up, you're going to get, you're buying your phone and email. You're going to get, yeah, Banana Zone equals a parabolic move. Yes. 10 to $100 USDT coupon. And the coupon is basically for futures trading. And then you have a deposit of $200 to get a $40 coupon. Put that $40 into a long position and just see what happens. Transfer 1,000 USDT over there and get $200. Transfer 5,000 for 1,000. Transfer 10,000 to get 2,000. Maintain it for consecutive days, and then trade 1 million USD to get $160 bonus, up to $28,000. So you could have up to a $28,000 bonus by trading $1 million if you are one of the players, right? So I need 20 of you millionaires. I need 20 of you millionaires to sign up right now and start trading, because I make commission off of that. So, you know, and I need a nice $10, $20, $30,000 day. Like, is that too much to X? See, I said X because axes are how you cut trees down, and trees are, I don't know, whatever fucking funny thing you can say about trees. That's what I just said in your brain. So there you have it. I am fucking hilarious, I guess. Anyway, that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. Everything I'm doing here is for entertainment value. If you start trading futures and I make a bunch of money because you become wildly successful, and it's because of the trades that I'm setting up, these are my trades. These are my opinions. They're not yours. So if you make a bunch of money, nice. If you lose a bunch of money, also nice. Not really. I want you to make money. So anyway, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. I got an outro video, but it's just, God damn it. Like, I just can't get it. I think I'm trying to get it right. It's just, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You get it. We'll talk to you again soon.